Hey guys, Quinn here again from Micrographics, Durban. I'm an application engineer here. If you haven't already seen one of my other quick tips, well, I do encourage you to go and take a look at some of them. They may be of assistance. So basically for today, I wanted to show you something that I came across which was pretty interesting. And what it is basically about is being able to take something like your valve and then seeing what line it actually is sitting on. Because if you've got a whole list of valves, let's go to quickly the data manager. The list, if you've got a whole bunch of valves in your drawing, so engineering items, equipment, inline assets, hand valves, sometimes you want to see too, even if you've got the tag of the valve, where is the valve actually sitting if you don't really have maybe in your system as to, well, the naming structure, should I say, where it actually is sitting. Maybe you want to see in a column that actually shows you where the valve is sitting or what line it is sitting on. So if we scroll all the way to the right, you'll notice that I've already inserted something called online number. Then I've got several blank ones, but the ones that I do have some information on. So if I hover over this, I've got acquire mode from pipeline tags. So at the moment, on what this is actually doing is it takes a look as to what the valve is being placed onto, and then it's got an acquisition rule that then pulls this through. So over here you can see my line is 100 5110. So just for simplicity's sake, I just made it that it was the size of the pipe and then the pipe number, just to make our lives easier. So how do we actually go about doing this and implementing this? Because think about it, when you're actually checking this off on a sheet, it could be very helpful. So all you have to do, and it's quite simple, is go into your project manager, project setup, or you could have right-clicked on your project manager on the project and then go into the setup, whichever way works for you. Go into the PNID DWG settings, PNID class definitions, engineering items, inline assets, and hand valves. By the way, this doesn't just have to be hand valves, it actually works quite well for any of the inline assets I've noticed so far. So in case, of course, also the higher you put it up in the hierarchy, or the higher the node is, it will then filter down to the rest of them. So if you did want to put everything in inline, it would filter down to hand valves, pipe fittings, specialties, and reducers. But that's up to you. For this case, I'm just going to click hand valves, and if you scroll down in my hand, or if I scroll down my hand valves, you'll notice that I've got a property name here, online number. And if you take a look, it's display name, online number, and its default value is an acquisition rule. So I'll quickly show you how to set one of these up. All you have to do is go add, give it a name. So, well, actually, let's go not line, let's go line tag, just to differentiate it a bit more. If you didn't know, you can actually have once you type in your property name, it will automatically fill in your display name, but with your display name, you can actually edit in a space afterwards if you want, just to make it look neater. But your property name, remember to always make sure that that doesn't have a space, or else it is going to complain bitterly. So we're going to look down here where it says choose type, and we're going to come all the way down to the bottom where it says acquisition. Select acquisition and click OK. It's going to ask it, okay, so select the data source, the secret source in this case. We're going to select the pipeline segment, and we're going to tell it, okay, we are looking for the tag of that pipeline segment, and click OK. Now, you can see I've added in my new one, line tag, display name is line tag, and it's an acquisition rule. It's a string, don't worry about that. Just make sure that visibility is checked. When we click OK, we're going to jump back to our drawing. And if I click my data manager, go back to my inline assets, hand valves, scroll all the way to the back. Oh no, all of this stuff is blank. Sadly, this won't work too well for stuff that's already in there, because the data has already been written. But if you were to put a new valve in, so in other words, if you're doing this for the start of your project, there's your template. This would be the brilliant best time to do it because there's nothing there that's missing. Because it'll only work now when I'm. It might help if I'm actually in my drawing sheet, should I say? Assign a tag. Assign. Just making sure it's pulling through that information. And let me get rid of that other valve. So now we've got a new valve sitting on there. So it's HA122. Now when I go back into my data manager, HA122, and I scroll all the way to the back, you can then see it actually did adopt some of them. Obviously it's because I already had the back end for the online component. But you can see it's sitting on line 100, 5110. So I hope this helps you guys, and this is a very useful little tool, depending on where you're sitting actually in the process in the company. Hope this helps you further. Have a wonderful day. Jose, bye.